Ronald Darby is back in the fold. For me, this is a great surprise because I didn't think there was a chance. What a move by Howard Roseman! Whoa! Dallas still stinks. Yo, everybody, King Ding back here, and we got some Eagles breaking news to talk about, and I'm very happy about this one because I didn't expect this one to happen before free agency started. Ronald Darby returns to Philly on a one-year deal. I guess it's a prove-it deal coming off his torn ACL. He wants to get his full value. I guess he wants to come back, show what he can do. And hey, I'm glad to have him back for one more year to see what he could do. This one is exciting to me because I didn't think it was going to happen. And I'm very excited about this signing. I love this signing. Love it. It's great. This is a beautiful signing. Why? Because, to be honest with you, when he tore his ACL, I didn't think there was any chance that the Eagles would resign him. Then, when we hear about all the cap problems that they have and all the money they're shifting around, I thought, they're not going to be able to sign him. Then, the other day when he visits Kansas City, I'm thinking Andy Reid will not let this guy get out of the building. So I didn't think there was a chance. But I should have known something was up because when I woke up this morning, the reports were that Chris Long and Nigel Bradham had restructured, giving the Eagles an additional $5 million in cap space, and we know how he does everything for a purpose. So, that was a key clue right there, I guess. But, hey, Ronald Darby is back with the Eagles, and I think this is a huge plus for the Eagles because this is a guy I did not expect to be back, and he instantly is the Eagles' best corner on the team. No doubt about it. Now, here's the issue with Darby. He's coming back from a torn ACL. One of his big pluses, about his play is his speed. He's very fast. And as we always see with guys, unless you're Adrian Peterson, who can come back from a torn ACL and just be awesome. But Adrian Peterson's a freak of nature. That's why he's a great athlete, and there's not a lot of Adrian Petersons. But Darby, he's coming back from the ACL. We know it takes a while for guys to get their legs under them, to get their speed back to what it was. And, the rule of thumb usually is it takes a full year, and it could take a whole entire season before you get your legs back. But usually, once you get past that year marker of that injury, it seems like slowly but surely these guys get their speed back and they get their legs underneath them. Now, he got hurt in November, okay? So he was hurt in November. So I would see a situation where he comes in, maybe, he's not himself early on in the year, but as we get into December, as we get into hopefully a playoff run, Darby kind of starts to, play at 100%, get his speed back, and it's at the perfect time of the year for us when we need him the most. And then he goes out, and if he can play to his athletic ability, this guy is a great player. He is really, he has the talent, the physical talent to be a legitimate Pro Bowler every year type corner. He just has been very inconsistent. So my biggest fear with Darby is just how long will it take for him to get his legs back, to get his speed back. Once he gets that, I think he's the best corner on his team. It's interesting with torn ACLs because it's true. It takes a while to come back from it. And, not to change the subject, but I was looking at Carson Wentz, his injury. He was hurt, I believe, December 11th, 2017. Now, Carson, he went out with a bad back right at that year marker. It was like December 14th of 2018. And it's a shame because he was right at that year point, and it would have been nice if he didn't have all these other injuries to see if we get more of the old Carson, what we expected, more of the movement of Carson in December. It may be in a playoff situation, that kind of thing. We'll never know because he hurt his back, but he was right at that point where he should have started. He was getting ready to start getting his legs underneath him, but it didn't work out that way. I do think it's interesting though that Carson came out in that Dallas game. He played bad, but all of a sudden, that fourth quarter turned on. He got hot and he lit it up. And he went down and he went tit for tat with Dallas. And if he would have gotten the ball first in overtime, I have no doubt he would have scored. Was that the start of him getting past that year process? I don't know. I know people say, oh, he goes to Ertz a lot, but I really think a lot of that had to do with his back. I do. But I'm changing the subject. The point is that torn ACLs usually take a while to come back, and they're bringing Darby back. And it may take him a while to be 100%. But if he's 100% at the end of the year, I think we got a really, really good player. If he can live up and play to his talent, we got a special player. The secondary really is interesting in itself. I really think the whole secondary is interesting to see what they're going to do. Now, the one thing that I would love to see more than anything, and this is not what Schwartz is going to do, but I think Schwartz is making a mistake. I'm just saying this now, and if this happens, if this guy ever goes to another team and they move him to safety, I'm gonna talk about it all the time. But I believe Rasul Douglas should be a safety. I think he should be moved to the safety position. I believe he's a natural, instinctive ball hawk. I think that he is big enough and physical enough and good enough of a tackler that he could play that position. And the few times they did move him there last year, he was very, very effective. I believe if he was a safety, he would replace McLeod, and within 2 years, he could be a Pro Bowl level safety. That's how perfect of a fit I think he is at safety position. The Eagles don't like him there. Schwartz doesn't like him there. So he doesn't play it. But now that you have Darby back, what are you going to do on the outside? You have Jalen Mills, you have Avonte Maddox, and you have Sidney Jones. Now, I don't want Jalen Mills to start on the other side. I think the guy that should start on the other side is Avonte Maddox. I think this kid's a very special, talented player himself, a little undersized, but he has shown that he can play, man. And he was really good for us last year. So I think you have to get him. And it would be in my opinion, I would have Avonte Maddox on the opposite side of Ronald Darby. I'd have Jalen Mills backing him up, and then I would basically move Rasul Douglas to safety, and then I would have Sidney Jones in the slot. But we'll see I don't know what the Eagles want to do. We got to remember, Sidney Jones was a top 10 projected talent coming out of the draft. Then he has the injury. Then he comes to the Eagles in the second round. He has a full year basically off. So I look at Sidney Jones and I try to tell myself, last year was really his rookie year. Last year was his learning year. He should have a big jump from this year to last year. There should be a jump with Sidney Jones. And if he's at 100%, if he plays up to his talent, then you have to get him on the outside at some point too. But, putting him in a slot next year, if he can play up to his talent, it would be huge for us. These are young corners. We have a lot of young corners. They got to live up and they got to develop and pan out and play together and live up to their capabilities. And if they do this, they could all be very good. They're all very talented in their own right. I mean, even Jalen Mills, there's talk that he should play safety. I mean, either one, him or Rasul, put him out there, give him a chance, rotate him around. But, the thing is guys like Sidney Jones, guys like Avonte Maddox, they have to play. They have to develop their talent. And Sidney Jones, I know some people have been down on him, but you got to remember, it was like his rookie year last year. You know what I mean? If he goes out and if he plays like he played last year, I'm going to be really down on him. But I'm expecting a big jump from Sidney Jones. Avonte Maddox, I expect another jump. And don't forget LeBlanc. I mean, that kid was a find. It'll be interesting to see what they do with him. The point I'm making is Ronald Darby coming back to a secondary that I think is young and talented, and being that guy on a team who's already the best corner it's a huge thing. I think we have a lot of depth there. I think we have a lot of young talent at the secondary, and I think that the big thing for them is to go out and play. I think they all need to go out and play in their own right. And if that defensive line is providing pressure and doing what it's supposed to do, it will make the secondary's job so much easier. But I'm actually really excited about the young talent at secondary. I'm not for going and signing some veteran corner or somebody like that. I don't think we need to do that at this point. We got Ronald Darby back, and let the young guys play and develop, man. Let them play and develop. It's hard to develop and have so many young, talented corners and develop them all at the same time. If you can do that, you can have them around for a long time at good rates, at good contracts. It's a great thing. And I think that the Eagles, I think they're in a good position here. This is a good surprise for me. This is a really good surprise to get Ronald Darby back in the fold. I did not expect this. I love this move. And I think I really love what the Eagles are doing in a lot of ways. You bring back Darby. You have a lot of young guys in the secondary. You get Malik Jackson. I love it. My thing is, I wish we could get a little younger on the line. I wish we could get a running back on the opposite side of the ball, which I'm sure that they're going to address. But Ronald Darby back is a good thing. We got to be a little patient with him coming back from his injury. But I think overall, I think that the secondary, the young, talented secondary of the Eagles just needs time to develop. So Darby back in the fold. I'm pumped. How do you feel? Let me know in the comment section. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Don't be a dingbat.